Oh, run! Run! Find a life pod! Phew, found a life pod. Anybody else coming? No? Just me? No! The ship's blown up. Oh, come on. Who designed this piece of junk? Don't you test things? Oh, no, 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 no. Oh! Seriously? Oh, now we're on fire? Come on, come on. Gotta get the fire extinguisher. Put the fire out. Come on, come on. Oh. Put the fire out. Put the fire out. Priority here. Put the fire out or we'll set on fire. Wow. Hello? Anyone in? That sounds familiar.
You have suffered minor head trauma.
I was blacked out.
This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world. Please refer to the databank for detailed survival advice. Good luck.
Luck? I'm gonna need more than luck. I mean, who designed this crazy blooming so-called life pod? I mean, look, this fire extinguisher was attached to this fitting piece. I mean, it fell off, bounced over here, hit this, knocked that blooming box cover over. That hit me in the head, but the irony of all ironies, it then started a fire. I mean, hello, fire extinguisher, starting a fire. You've got to see the irony in that one. Anyway, welcome to Subnautica. I had to have a rant there. I mean, come on. Right, so let me just put this fire extinguisher away now that I don't need it. Oh, let's see, what was that actually? We have some flares, some water, and some nutrient blocks to get us started. Okay, not too bad, although I do seem to be a bit hungry. We've got a medical kit fabricator, so I'll take one of those. I'm not too injured. And that's going to keep making medical kits for us, so we'll want to come back here every so often just to check and get new ones. Power wise, the solar panels of this thing are working, it seems. They seem to be providing power. The only problem is the electrical systems, everything else is off. Well, I suppose the hull integrity is fine, but yeah, the electrical stuff's broken, so we need to fix it. There is a radio over here, and that's broken as well. So I suppose one of the priorities is really to get these things repaired, because you want to start sending out a distress signal, I suppose. Right, so we have a fabricator over here. That allows us to make things. Surprise, surprise. So, for instance, we can make titanium from metal salvage. Throw in a bunch of titanium and we can make an ingot. We can make silicon rubber from a creepvine, etc., etc. We can make some electronics. We can make water from, if memory serves, that was the bladderfish. We don't know that yet, but as soon as I go and pick up a bladderfish, I'll go and learn the blueprint for it. And we can make some water from bleach, which was this one here. So if you get salt and coral tube samples, you can make bleach. We don't know how to make food yet, but as soon as we start picking fish up, we'll learn the blueprints to cook them. Equipment, we've got these bits and pieces here, but I really want to get an O2 tank going and some fins to help us well, survive longer underneath the water, and underneath the water? In the water. And also some fins so we can swim a bit faster. In terms of tools, first thing I want is a repair tool to get this life pod repaired and up and running. I'll want to scan it to start scanning things, because there are blueprints that you can learn by scanning fragments that are out there. I'll want a survival knife. That's to fend things off, although not much use, to be honest. And also it's to break things off. There's certain things you can't get access to without breaking them off with a knife. And I'll also want a habitat builder. That way I can start to build a base. And in terms of deployables, we already know how to make a waterproof logger, so just need a bit of titanium. That comes in handy because you can't expand on this life pod. We've got a container unit here, but there's not that many slots, so chances are I'll probably have collected more things before I've already built the base, so building a couple of these waterproof lockers comes in handy. We haven't learned yet to make a mobile vehicle bay, although we're aware of it, and again we're aware of how to well, we're aware of this sea glide, but we haven't got the blueprints yet. Now that's for short distances travelling. It helps you to get quicker, get to places quicker, but it's only really beneficial for short distances. The mobile vehicle bay though allows you to build the sea moth, the prawn, and the cyclops, which all make life a whole lot easier. But we don't know the blueprints for them either. Right. First things first, I want to get some titanium because I want some, well, I want an O2 tank and I want to make some fins which needs the rubber. So what I'm going to do straight away is I'm going to start looking for titanium. Now it says on that fabricator that you can break down salvage. Ooh, eerie. Right, so there's some salvage over there. Actually, well, we've actually landed right near an actual crash.
The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
That's bad. Well, that's what's left of the Aurora. So I'm assuming when she says there's 0 life signs detected, she means nobody but us. Otherwise, I'm going to start having an identity crisis because I look human. Right, anyway, where was I? Yeah. We've landed right next to this crash here. What's left of a ship, by the looks of it. Totally random. When this thing lands, it's completely random. Wrecks. Wow, that's extremely lucky. How lucky could I have been? Yeah, so it's completely random where this life pod lands, and when you get wrecks, it's completely random the sort of things you find there.
Oxygen.
Yeah, that's why I need an O2 tank. I'm really not lasting long. These things here are fragments. You scan those to be able to make blueprints from them, but the fragments you get are completely random. I think things like these ones, like this chair, I think they might always be the same, but it's the specifically fragments like this are completely random. Sometimes I remember one game I played, I had about 5 or 6 of these grav trap fragments all in the same, scattered all around the same wreck, which is like completely useless. Oh, come on. The reason I got excited actually was because of this. Whenever I play Subnautica, I like to build near this vent. You can actually build, I can't remember what they're specifically called, but the thermal stations, I think. So basically what they can do is they can convert thermal energy into electricity. When you build a base, you'll need electricity. You'll need it for things like, well, whenever you run things like the fabricator, you use up electricity. Whenever you're whenever you've got like the water filtration unit, they suck up lots of electricity. But you can build solar power cells, which they'll only work during the day, unfortunately. So if you're pulling more electricity during the night than your base can provide you, you'll quickly run out. And when your base runs out of electricity, the pumps stop working and it starts to flood. So things like thermal energy is good because that's there all the time. I don't have a thermal detection yet. I can't tell how hot it is here, but I do know that that is exactly what I need. And this place, I always build my first base here. To be honest, I can build it along here, put the thermal stations here, and then what I can do is I can hang the moon pool just off here. It's just deep enough here so I can easily get the sea moth in and out. So that's extremely handy. But it's also got a much deeper drop off here, which comes in handy with when you get the Cyclops. That's a much bigger machine. Oh, that is eerie. That's a much bigger machine, and that it helps to be in deeper water to be able to get around in one of those.
Life on this planet grows in unusually distinct and diverse ecological biomes. Further study recommended.
So yeah, I'd say that for me, that's extremely lucky to have landed right here. Anyway, what I need at the moment, I can see, well...
Detecting increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core, sustained during planet fall.
Okay, so that's going to start leaking radiation into the environment. So that is bad. But what I was going to do is I was going to get some titanium. So I'm going to get this straight away. Just out of curiosity, I'll see if there's anything here. Nope, it's empty. Never mind. What I'll do is I'll go and see if I can catch one of these fish. Oh, come here. Come here! Oh, for crying out loud. Come here, quick. Come here, will you? Come here!
New creature discovered.
Oh.
Oxygen.
So, I've got a fish. And I've learned a blueprint. Now I want one of these fish over here, the bladderfish. One I've got's the peeper, but I want a bladderfish.
Discovered.
Because I'm running out of food and I'm running out of
alien life
oxygen.
Forms may have unexpected applications. Utilizing alien resources is a proven survival strategy.
Right, so there's another type of fish here. There's a boomerang. Oh, there's a whole fish. I was aiming for the boomerang fish. Come here.
New creature discovered.
I don't think I can get these fish here. Oh, no, 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 no! Oh, that's one of those crazy kamikaze fish. Ooh, I so did not enjoy that. That means, if I remember, where did that come from? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, no, 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 no! Oh, it! Rats, it got me. Unfortunately, I need one thing I do need is cave sulphur. Yes, so you find it there. But it's those crazy kamikaze fish that come after you. Come here, Gary. This is a Gary fish, if you're curious to know.
New creature discovered.
Actually, I better get out of this cave quick.
Sulphur deposits in the local cave systems. Sulphur is an essential component of the repair tool.
Ooh, can I pick that up?
Oxygen.
Oh, that was handy. Yeah, that was handy because normally these things, you've got to break them off. Ah, now that's changed. You used to need a knife to break these off. Ah, right, so yes, you still do. So those ones just must have been loose for some reason. Might be in that exploded blooming fish. Right, I'll take these back because I need some food. I'm running out of food and water. Swim, swim, swim. Right, so on the left. So on the left we have the fabricator. So we've learned new blueprints. So as I was saying, the bladderfish is what allows you to make filtered water. I wouldn't waste it to make food. It's not worth it. It's the only fish I know that'll make you water, or at least a reasonable amount of water. We've learned the blueprints of all these other fish, so we've got the pole fish and the peeper,
The
Gary.
fabricator cooks small organisms while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption. It is common for those accustomed to synthetic foods to be repulsed by eating an animal carcass. Remember that humans survived this way for millennia. You can too.
Okay, I don't think I've got much choice at this stage. So each of these different types of fish will give you a different amount of food and a different amount of water, although you'll probably just notice that one tick down. In other words, even after I've cooked them, they're still going to rot. So I've cooked this peeper. Instead of giving us plus 12 food and losing water while it's raw, cooking it actually gives us quite a lot of food and a bit of water. So really the peeper, if you look, the peeper is the better fish to be cooking and eating when you're starting off in the game.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Although you can eat the rest, doesn't really matter. Now, if you're going to go on a long journey, or if you're going to be away from the base for a while, I don't see anything in the vicinity, but one of the things you want is salt. If you can get salt, if you can find salt, what you can do is you can use that to preserve the fish. The good thing about that is it means they'll last longer. You won't get as much food out of them, I don't think. I'll double check, we'll have to find out once I find some salt. Should be some somewhere.
Oxygen.
Assuming this fish will last long. Oh, was that something? Oh no, it was another fish. I thought that was some salt I noticed down there. But when you're out and about, you'll find things like salt, quartz, and limestone outcroppings, for instance. Right, sometimes it'll give you limestone, sometimes it'll give you copper. I think there's something else. So you tend to break those off and find out what's in them. But at the moment I want to see if I'm lucky enough to find some salt nearby. Oh, there. That looks like some down there. Oh, should have really built the tank first, because we're getting quite deep. Oh, this is gonna be a push. Oh, that was extremely close. Right, I'm going to swim back here. Instead of being a muppet, I'm going to swim back here, make a tank and some fins, but I think there was some salt down there. Another thing that I need is these creepvine clusters. If you notice, some of these creepvines have got these little cluster seeds on them, and some of them are just they're just the actual vines themselves. You can actually build some outdoor growing beds, and if you plant some of these little seeds, they'll grow into clusters that have got seeds. If you grow the vine, all you'll get is a vine. But the good thing about those seeds, when you get them, they'll help light your base up at night, so that's extremely useful if you're swimming around at night and want to be able to find your base quickly. Right, I was going to build an O2 tank, so let's break this down. So one thing you can do with the actual creepvine seeds is you can make rubber and you can make lubricants. So I'm going to make some rubber because I also need some. I think that's also used for the knife, I think it was. So I want an O2 tank. That fish is looking a bit weird.
New blueprint acquired.
And the knife.
The fabricator draws from available data to provide environment-appropriate equipment using locally available materials. For your safety, this setting cannot be overridden.
Okay, I don't know why you told me that, but never mind. That was lucky actually finding that cave sulphur, because it means I can make my repair tool straight away as well. And a knife.
Weapons were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
If you notice this paper, it's losing nutrition over time. I think it'll do that once it gets cooked anyway, it definitely does. Or at least a lot quicker anyway than this one while it's raw. Right, I'm just going to repair this while I'm here.
Lifepod secondary systems online. Running full environment diagnostic and outputting results to databank.
Okay, so that's tidied the place up a bit, getting rid of all our smoke. What I was going to do, I was just going to put these around, move them over here. That's better. May as well make some more rubber. Alright, so we can make a high capacity tank. So we're up to we're up to 7502, but it'd be better to get one of those. So I'll have to find silver ore and quartz. I think it's quartz needed to make glass. Yes, we'll need to find some quartz to make some glass. Okay, so I've got an O2 tank, which is a bit better. Alright, so I'm going to go out here because I'm sure there was some salt just off here. And with that you've got like choices. You can use salt to, you can use the salt to make bleach, which will give you another way of getting water, and you can also use it to preserve fish. Yeah, there's some salt there. Oh, there's some here as well. Let's see what's in there, because I'm going to need some copper as well. Ah, yes, copper.
Copper is an essential component of all powered equipment. 30 seconds. Your probability of survival has just increased to unlikely, but plausible.
Come on, come on, come on. I need to get to the surface. I was just looking at another rock outcropping there. I think that's the shale one. That's the one to look for gold, lead and silver. Yeah, there it is there. Let's see if we're lucky and get some silver. Yes!
Silver-based wiring kits are an essential component of many habitat modules.
Oh, it's my lucky day today. So now I need to find some quartz, because if I can find that... I mean, actually, you can find that much easier at night. They're usually around in the caves. I mean, you can sometimes find them among this foliage, but they stand out really well in the dark.
30 seconds.
There's some more salt. But we've got some silver, so if I can find some salt, some quartz rather, I can make glass, and I can make a better O2 tank. May as well get that while I'm here. That's telling you to cut. I may as well cut this one down. That's one of the reasons you need a knife.
New blueprint acquired.
Quartz. If memory serves, you can also find that in... It's usually like a large coral tube around. And also in the caves you can find pieces of quartz. Aha! Got you. And I'll need 2 of them. And there's another. It's definitely my lucky day, this. Normally it takes forever to find things. Or at least for me, normally anyway. Coral. Right, so if I get my knife out, this type of coral here we can use to make bleach. Okay, so fabricator should be able to make some glass. So if you just cut the vine down, you can use it to make fiber mesh. I think you can eat it as well, but I don't think it's particularly nutritional. No, I've used it all anyway. Oh, I need 2. Ah, foobar. Right, so I need 2 glass and 4 titanium. Right, that should get me enough titanium. And I can make bleach out of the salt.
Bleach is an essential chemical used for cleaning wounds and purifying water.
Yeah, and I can make that will make 2 bottles.
Preparing the day's water ration ahead of time will help ensure against dehydration and eventual death.
I'm not sure if these respawn. Later in the game it's easier to get salt, but if you use a bladderfish, you get filtered water which gives you 20 water, but if you make bleach and then convert that into water, you get disinfected water. You get 2 bottles of it each, that'll give you 30 water. So that's actually a better source of water. Now that's interesting that I thought this peeper fish would have started to rot, to be honest, so it seems like it's the cooked ones that start to rot and lose their value. But just out of curiosity, I'm going to cure this one.
Caution. Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
Okay, so now we've got radiation leaking around and a possible detonation. That's interesting. So we're getting the same amount of food, but we'll actually lose water if we eat the cured peeper. So if you're going to be away for a while, because the problem is you can only cook the fish through the fabricator. Later on you can actually get a heated knife and that will cook the fish on the fly for you. But while you're just starting out, you're relying on the fabricator. If you notice up the top it's saying that I'm down to about 42 out of 75 power. Fortunately the power is regenerating, or at least it will do during the day because we've got solar power. But every time we use that we're consuming power. And yeah, if you want to cook the fish, you're obviously going to be near the fabricator. But if you're going to go for quite a distance away, it pays to take away some water. Make sure you've got plenty of water, as well as some of these cured peepers. Right, another thing I need to do is repair this radio because I forgot to do that. Okay. So the radio's up and running. The problem is it's one way. We can receive messages, but we can't send any. One thing to note is these devices, these tools I'm making, they run off a battery. When you're running on a PC, you just press R and you can start to swap batteries out. At this stage all I can do is create new batteries. I don't have the means to recharge batteries. I can't expand on this life pod, so pretty early on I need to start building a base. Then I can get, once I get the blueprints for the battery recharger, I can start recharging the batteries. But one thing that I found is useful is that if these devices do start running out of charge, the battery's got no charge in it, swap it out for a new one, keep a hold of the old one, because what you can do is when you create tools like this, they don't care whether the battery's got charge or not. So that's a quick way to save you having to keep creating more and more batteries while you just stockpiling lots in inventory. Right, so let's see. So we've got standard O2 tank, fins. I need more quartz If I can find more quartz, then I can use that to get a better tank. So there's usually some nearby in caves, but it's getting dark now, so it actually should start to get easier to find them because they glow at night. Ooh. Those things are, what are they called again? Oh, it doesn't say. They drop gas pods. And so if you go in there, if you actually go inside those clouds, it damages your health. Ah, so there you go. Right down there, there was a piece of quartz. So as I say, it's much easier to spot them at night. So we'll quickly go down there. I need 2. Aha! Yeah, much easier to find. Guess we'll get all of these while I'm here. Of course, the downside of being dark is now I can't see a thing.
Be advised, a common complication for cave divers is loss of orientation, followed by eventual asphyxiation.
Yep, that nearly happened to me. Right, so come here, Bloodyfish. You need to serve a greater purpose, i.e. me. So that should give us enough quartz to make another piece of glass, and then we should be able to make the higher O2 tank. Jump from 45 to 75. It's kind of useful, but this one should be much better. Alright, just make some water. Some glass. And now I should... Right, I'm going to swap that tank out into my inventory. Aha, et voila! One high capacity O2 tank. So this time we've gone from 45 to 135, so that's much better. So let's see, so we've got a better O2 tank, some reasonable fins, learned a few blueprints, we've got a repair tool, a knife. Now the one thing I need next is a scanner. That needs a battery. The battery needs... Oh, fortunately we've got some copper, so I just need 2 mushrooms, 2 acid mushrooms, and then we'll be able to put the battery. 2 batteries. 1 battery coming up. Right, so we'll make our battery. Right, does that give us the scanner? Yes!
Blueprint acquired.
Oh, and we also learned how to make a power cell. Okay, fair enough.
The scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints from salvage technology and to record alien biological data.
So, before I finish off the video, what I'm going to just demonstrate here is if I can find that fragment. Right, so what you can do is you can scan in a fragment, and in this case it's saying I need 2 fragments to make the blueprint, whereas for the swivel chair I only needed 1.
New blueprint acquired.
So different things need different amount of fragments. But one of the things I definitely want to start looking for as a fragments for this, the Sea Glide. Before I just finish off though, well actually I'll do a self-scan as well. Let's see what state we're in.
Self-scan complete. Vital signs normal. Continuing to monitor.
Well, getting off to a reasonably good start then. So we've got a bit of equipment, and yeah, the Aurora's looking a bit sad really. We're stuck on a life pod. But we'll get there eventually. But I'm going to leave the video there. As I say, the next thing I want to start doing is looking for the fragments for the Sea Glide. They could be dotted around anywhere. We've got most of this place up and running now. So what I'll do is I'll end the video there, and in the next episode we'll start looking for the fragments of the Sea Glide. So I do hope you've liked this video. If so, then do please leave a like. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to see more content, then do click on the subscribe button as well, please. Until then, thanks, bye.